Liberia to the United States. Thank you, Louisiana, for this kind of reception.
I have two other children, and I have to tell you that Eric has been the hardest one to raise. I get to welcome you here tonight, so first I want to say welcome, and thank you for coming to celebrate all that God has done in Liberia, in Eric, in the United States, and in many of us through this work that CAN is doing. As I look out over the audience, I see people who have had him stay in their homes, who've fed him food, who've given him money for gas, lawyers who have incorporated CAN, accountants who have helped keep him out of jail. I see folks who have prayed for him, encouraged him, fussed at him, so many things. And so I am so glad that all of you are here to celebrate with him tonight. And I just want to thank you, and I want to tell you that you are going to have a fantastic evening.
Yeah, I think we've had some incredible moments together, and I think there's more to come. I think we're only really maybe a third of our way into it, or half into it perhaps. And I think that, it just occurred to me that everybody in this room has been on a journey with Eric. We all feel connected to him in some way. We've all got a tale to tell, and I'm sure that we all feel, that we remember when we first met him. And I think it was probably that was the first moment that he was able to draw you in. He was able to tell you his story. I think it was probably a moment that it encouraged us all to think about something bigger, something greater than ourselves. Certainly for me, it was the moment that I felt like he kind of reached inside and just sort of grabbed my spirit somehow, and just made me believe. And I think that was the moment where it changed my life, I think, And for me, that's kind of what I find remarkable about him. It's, how does he do that? How does he bring people along? How does he make us believe in more, in something good? And I think that, the answer to that is him. It's in him. And it's kind of in you as well, It's kind of hard to define. I think it's a kind of a drive just to kind of make the world that little bit better. And he's kind of like tapping into our souls somehow, And I think it's for me, it was like in him, it was those big questions in life, like, why are we here? What are we supposed to be doing with ourselves? It was in him that I feel like I'm getting those answers to like what it's all about, And that's kind of why I've stayed with him for so many years. And I just want to say thanks for the years and for the journey. It's been tough, but it's worth it. And hey, look, he's really good at making first impressions. He's really good at it, It's a gift, it really is.
My name is Eric Wowo. Every single one of us in this room has a story. Every single one of us, we do have a story. And the story we have is not yours, like mine tonight. It's not mine. I did not script it. I did not write it. But it was made like a script that was written. We are all just acting. We are characters. So tonight, all of you in the room have been a part of that story, that journey. This is not Eric. Nobody is self-made. Everybody receives some kind of support, either from the classroom, your neighbor, the community. Somehow, people help you to get to where you are. I think that the people in this room have a strong culture of faith, of family, community, and they care a lot about people. To be able to listen to a guy like me from a refugee camp that came here with nothing, still have nothing, and still don't know nothing. You get what I'm saying? But you believe me and give me a chance. It tells me that you don't just care about what happens here, you also care about what's going on the other side of the world. So I said, thank you so very much. But how do you go from a refugee camp to being the founder of Change Agent Network, a nonprofit organization which mission is to break the cycle of poverty through education, sustainable development, fueled by the power of prayer? How do you do that? It's just God. So, after praying, I decided to find a solution. And the solution for me is education. Why education? Why not food? Why not water? Why not something else? Education, because this is the only gift that you give to a person that when they die, they take it with them. It's not transferable. In America is what it is today because of education. And why is that? Because it works for me. When I was a refugee in a refugee camp, a friend of mine donated that computer to me right on the screen. That's the computer that Martin saw in the refugee camp. He donated the computer. After learning how to use the computer, I realized that to whom much is given, much is required. And that we have been blessed to be a blessing. We are to be a channel, not a reservoir. So I decided to start training refugees in a refugee camp. From that one computer, we were able to train about 700 refugees by 2006 when I was coming to the United States. Fast forward, the model is very simple. Change Agent, we serve as a bridge between the local communities and global partners. So we all have a part to play. Up to present, we have built 28 schools in Liberia since 2006. And you might be thinking what the schools look like. That's just a few of the campuses on your screen. So you have an idea of what the schools looks like. We have graduated over 2,000 students nationwide. We have 5 campuses that we manage directly. And over 4,000 children are currently being educated nationwide. And we have created over 350 jobs nationwide as well in Liberia. And we have shipped 19 containers of leftovers from the American dream from one of the poorest states in America, Louisiana. Currently, we are impacting over 385,944 lives across the nation of Liberia. We have shipped over 800 bags of rice during COVID and Ebola. We shipped that food from Crowley, Louisiana. They feed the world from Crowley. And then we've taken over 100 Americans from all over the nation to Liberia on short-term volunteer trips and mission trips back and forth. We have a team from Mississippi recently. That's the Mississippi team that just came back in August from Liberia. We shipped over 4 school buses across the country to Liberia and volunteers over 100 plus nationwide. Then comes the university. We built one university in my village, Lafayette County. Put your hands together for Jesus, please.
I'd like to say congratulations to everybody associated with this wonderful work. To Eric himself for his tireless and self-sacrificial efforts. To the sacrifices of his team in Liberia, who have stood shoulder to shoulder with him over the last 20 years. To his co-workers in America, thank you very much. To the partners and donors who gave not only of their money, but also of themselves to physically go to Liberia, to teach, to train, to build. Thank you very, very much. It's been a wonderful service we've been able to provide to Liberians over the last 20 years. And I'd like to say congratulations on this wonderful milestone.
Know that Lafayette, Louisiana plays a very big role in the work of Change Agent Network, and I just want to say a very big thank you to all of our Lafayette, and not only Lafayette, but our Louisiana supporters, donators, and contributors. If you have ever contributed to Change Agent in any way, whether it be through financial donations, actually going back to Liberia and building schools and things of that nature, or donating things like books, clothes, anything like that, it is greatly appreciated not only by the people of Liberia, not only by my dad, but also by me. Hopefully, when I get older, I hope to be as hands-on in the work of Change Agent Network just as much as you all.
I want to say thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for believing. Thank you for giving me a second chance. Thank you for standing up when we thought nobody was going to be able to stand up with us. The journey has just begun. I want to say thank you on behalf of all the children in Liberia, all of our volunteers in Liberia. You made this possible. And we are here tonight to celebrate the people of Lafayette, to celebrate the people of Louisiana. You are special, and I also say thank you for the opportunity, and God bless you.
Yeah. Young Life Liberia and Change Agent Network have established a memorandum of understanding where the Young Life Liberian leadership helps train teachers and staff in Change Agent Network schools to work with their students in the relational ministry manner that we do within Young Life. Change Agent Network, the schools in Liberia have helped provide locations and opportunities and physical space for Young Life programming to happen, for them to host summer camps. So we could have never imagined that kind of story or connection. So over the years, we have been so grateful for the chance to get to expose our students here to Eric and to his story and to what is happening across the world, and have loved and could never have imagined the connection of what was already happening with Young Life in Liberia to be connected with what's happening with Change Agent Network there. So thank you very much.
Tonight we're going to introduce an individual who has stood in the gap of our countries. So between America and Liberia. So tonight, His Excellency Ambassador Jeff Gongwa Dowanan Sr. has been working with the foreign services over the years. And some of the accomplishments we cannot name it, otherwise we will not gather from here. Because if you want to know, just go to the Liberian Mission in Washington, D.C. website. You will see every information about him. He has been working tirelessly between both countries. And prior to the appointment here in the United States, he has served in Mexico, in Canada, in every part of the world that the country will need him. He has been a faithful servant to us. And he has been between America and Liberia, making sure that we take, like Eric said, the leftover back to Africa and make it other good things. So tonight, our guest speaker is no other person. He is a husband and a still ambassador, a father, someone who cares for children and wants to see education to the highest level. Tonight, if you will join me, may we welcome our dynamic and excellent ambassador, Jeff Dowanan. Ambassador.
This place holds a special significance for us, as it is not only a physical space, but also a symbol of family and togetherness. It is the birthplace of a king, the second birthplace of a king from Nigeria, an organization that has played a crucial role in the lives of many, and it serves as a spiritual and physical home for the founder, Mr. Eric Warwell. We are proud to be here, a part of the academia community, a French settlement in a beautiful city of Louisiana. Ken work extends beyond borders, and they are committed to making a positive impact on lives of others.
My name is Abike Margaret Olukoga. Congratulations to the Change Agent Network Liberia Connection on their 28th anniversary, and I thank you all for the opportunity to grace this occasion. Our thanks goes to the Catholic Diocese of Acadiana, Louisiana, for providing the enabling environment for him, if you all are here tonight. But if not, I still send my thanks to you all back to the office. Our thanks also, I need to also thank the Honorable Jeff Dewana, the Liberian ambassador to the United States of America, for his support, for your support, sir. We thank you very much. And now back to Eric, my brother that doesn't know where the air condition control is. But it takes time and it takes steps. It's a process.
ID card. I walk into the office. He's the lawyer I found in the Yellow Pages book. And I just call him on the phone and I say, hey, I'm looking for a lawyer. And then he's like, yeah, come over to my office. So I didn't know which part of town. He works in River Ranch, okay? That's like the Hollywood of Lafayette. So, and I walk in the office, beautiful building sitting up there. And I walk in and he said, you have 5 minutes to tell me what you want to do. I said, okay. So I said, hey, I want to change the world. And God said, you're going to help me to do the paperwork. And he goes, are you legal? I said, well, you are the lawyer. You should tell me if I'm legal or not.
Well, I did ask him if he had a driver's license or a passport or any kind of identification. He had a little thing from customs, I think. And I don't know how long he'd been
Just
in
a
town.
little card.
But I was impressed with the discussion. And I think what impressed me most was when you told me how you had been converted to Christianity. And what I recall was that this fellow, the preacher said, you've lived so long now, still alive. God has a purpose for your life. You need to go find what it is and do it. And you have done that in spades, and I'm proud to have been a part of it. I formed a corporation for him, and he had told me since before that he was, friends had told him, go north where the cheap lawyers are. But anyway, we finished the deal, and I created a corporation for him, and we filed it. And so I paid the fees. You haven't got the bill yet, have you? But I was, about a year later, I hear him speaking at a club somewhere, and he's telling his story about coming to this law office and not, And so hopefully that was a little bit of encouragement for you. It's been a great blessing for me to be a part of it, and a small one, but I'm thankful for all the good work you're doing, and God bless you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
When I first met him, I was driving back to the business, and Eric was getting on his bike, and it was raining, and I rolled out my window. I said, where are you going? He said, I'm going home. I said, in the rain? He says, yeah, I have no other way. I said, okay. I said, put your bike in the back of the truck and take me to your home. And it was UPA Apartments. And from then on, it was God, like he said. Couldn't do anything but bring him home. And it's just amazing what he has done. The selflessness, the energy. I'm so thankful for all of y'all to have taken him in, because I couldn't take him anymore. And it was, he just got so much energy, he wouldn't stop. Leave me alone. He'd be it was a shed he lived in. We didn't put him in a little house. It was a shed he lived in, really. He'd come in the house, look at this, what do you think? Yeah. He'd go back. He'd write some more, come back. Look, this is the name. Okay. But everything's worked out. And at one time, he was having troubles with getting money from, well, it wasn't working with the secular part of giving. And I told him, I said, you're going to have to make a decision. You're going to have to, it's going to have to be all God. It can't be not in the secular world and in Christianity. It's going to have to be one of the two. And he chose God, which I didn't know before that he had already chosen God a long time ago. And one day, I was afraid to ask, but we went to a man to ask for a donation. A very rich man, very capable, and he was so nice. And what happened was that the man brought in a whole bunch of people in his office, 10, 15 people. And he wanted to find out more about Eric and what he was doing. And after that, he did donate a little while later. But what I want to say is that what really happened was the lady, Lou, I think her name was?
Yeah, Lou is here. She's in the back. She's back there.
Lou. When other churches wouldn't take him, Lou invited us to her church. We went to her church, and from then on, it exploded. Marty, and then they all took over, and it was amazing. So that was it.
You know, 28 schools, 1 university from his vision. You know, it's a far cry from him being homeless, you know. Oh, it was far cry from when we met him in 2007. Jerry had called and talked to me about Eric and said that he was being evicted. And so we discussed it, and Jerry went pick him up and brought him home. So I was going to be able to meet him that evening. So I thought he was coming home for supper. And so I fixed supper and everything. My whole family ate. No Eric. You know, if everybody knows Eric, he's on African time, not American time. He showed up at 10 o'clock when we were already in bed. We got up, and he says, has everybody eaten? And I said, yeah, we did, you know. He says, okay. And because my family had eaten before, we had ran out of rice, so I made a fresh pot of rice for whenever he got there. He took a 5-cup pot of rice, dumped it in his plate, took the whole pot of lima beans, dumped it on the rice. And I said, Eric, what are you doing? He says, everyone has eaten. We can't let it go to waste. Yeah. Then he went and he stood in front of the ice box like he was paralyzed, you know. And I said, do you need anything? He says, there is so much food, you know. Shows you where he comes from, you know. And anyway, there was a few people that had advised us that be careful, you know, he's from Africa, might be a scam. The only thing that got scammed was Eric. You know, and he never complained about it. He never saw the injustice that was being served to him. You know, he just kept moving forward. And whenever there was something that was injustice, we got to the point where we were saying, welcome to America, you know.
At the end of that, I realized that $600 was not what we're interested in. We were interested in a partnership, and these two ladies really kicked it. Actually, I came to Marty, and I said, Marty, would y'all go to Liberia and check this guy out? And well, the fact that I could even bring that up, they had already made their plans, so my suggestion was totally redundant. But anyway, what I found that day was not only a partner for Trinity Bible Church, but a friend. And we have been good friends ever since. At that time, there were no schools. There was just an idea and a computer center that he was working on. And it wasn't in your mind what God was doing. It wasn't in my mind. But what Eric had was he had a story and he had a dream. And I knew that this was going to be something wonderful.
But we found a group of people who were willing to sacrifice everything to rebuild their country and to make a better life for the next generation. We met teachers who had lost children in the war who were teaching for no pay. We met women, as strong as I am, who were making bricks to build the classrooms in the school. I went away from that first trip incredibly humbled by the fact that there are people across the world who are giving their lives to make the world a better place. And I just have to say that my continued involvement with Change Agent, with Eric, with our friends in Liberia, has been the greatest privilege of my life.
It's been a 13-year journey so far. We're obviously all still together. A challenging journey at times, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. It taught me things that I never would have been able to experience here. The depth of the awakening for me is beyond what I could really properly and adequately describe in a short amount of time. So all of you who have supported him in so many incredible ways, I feel like I've rejoined a family here. We have a network, our own little Lafayette network of Change Agent Network supporters that I'm very proud to be a part of. So I just appreciate everything that everyone has done in this room, and I'm grateful to be here tonight. Thank you.
I'm seeing Eric's story tonight, and it is amazing. All these names, all these people, everything, they're all in Eric's book, and here you are. It's really incredible that it's just, it's so real, and it is such an incredible story. And Nancy and I had just started writing together, and we saw the news about Eric. I think it was in the newspaper, or I heard it from the church or something. This was about 2011, 2012. And we thought, what a story. But we did want to do a children's book, but it was way more than that. Way, way more. So we did his first book, as he says. There's another to come, I'm sure. The story continues, and we are so proud, and I'm so amazed to be a part of such a beautiful, beautiful story, and that is continuing. Even better. You are wonderful.
There's one phrase that just resounds in my mind that I have to share with all of you, and it is, do small things with great love. That was penned by a woman we know as Saint Therese of Lisieux. So I'm in awe of what you have accomplished, and I'm also in awe of the generosity of so many churches around this area, churches, school systems, Rotary Club. A lot of people pitched in a lot more than I have, and I'm very proud of you, very proud of you, and I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy at all, but God has chosen the right man for the job.
It was a great day for him to walk. Jerry came with him to come into our office, and like you say, Matt's a big man, and $600 was a very small amount. And I kept thinking, not even about our church. I was just thinking about all the Catholic churches. I was like, if everybody gave $1, this would be done. And you needed it, if I'm correct, for the tuition to pay the teachers. Yeah. And I was like, was it for a year? Yeah. For 1 year.
That's for a month.
For a month. Yeah. And I was like, okay, if we get 12 churches, we can have this solved. It's done, Yeah. So I did not think he would come to church, and he did. That next Sunday, I saw him walking up, and I was so excited that I ran to Tim, and I said, Tim, there's this guy coming, and he's got a great story, et cetera, et cetera. And then I saw Heather, and I was like, oh my God, this is like a perfect match here, because someone's going to have to take this mission on, even in our church or beyond. And it's just a networking thing. And I'm thinking of, it's just $1. It's like all this stuff over here. It's such a small amount. If we gave just a little amount, we can do huge things. We don't need a Matt Stuller. We don't. You'd like him, but we don't need him, because we've got so many people that give from their heart. And that little bit has roller coaster, that conduit, that networking of all of us in this room has multiplied it, and you continue to take it to the next level, to go to Dallas, to go to this area. You just keep building it and building it and building it. And no, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
In these next 20 years, God put me in the perfect place to come in and transform CAN to what it's going to be for the next 20 years. You've done an incredible job, but we got to put it a little more together this time. So for CAN University, this is my speech I put together. Today, I stand before you to share a story of hope, resilience, and the extraordinary potential of change. In the heart of Lofa, Liberia, where the roots of Eric Wowo run deep, an incredible journey is just unfolding. Lofa County University, the first private institution to grace the sacred soil, is a beacon of education and a symbol of transformation for an entire community. As we celebrate the achievements of the past 2 years, the accreditation that brought this dream to life, we find ourselves at a critical juncture. In just 2 months, that accreditation teeters on the edge, and we stand unified in our pursuit to meet the additional requirements set forth by the Liberian government. The university unites 15 tribes, 7 calling Lofa County home. This is more than just an academic institution. It's a bridge that spans across cultures, bringing together a diverse tapestry of dreams and aspirations. Yet the journey is far from over. We need your partnership to secure full accreditation and unlock the doors for the future. We need $1,500 to construct vital buildings, administration offices, science and computer labs, and a library. These structures are not just brick and mortar. They are the foundation of dreams yet to be dreamt, of discoveries waiting to be made. The potential held within the walls of Lofa County University extends far beyond the immediate horizon. When these buildings stand tall and proud, they will signal the arrival of new colleges, focusing on nursing, science, and technology. But our vision continues beyond there. We are committed to reaching beyond borders to touch the lives of the 10 students from each county, and we will offer them the gift of education through college scholarships. Over the next decade, we aim to empower 1,500 students, transforming them into change agents for Liberia. Consider the impact of your investment, a ripple effect that echoes across generations and communities. The return of your investment extends beyond the confines of Lofa County, touching the lives of over 200,000 individuals. But our ambition knows no bounds. It resonates with the heartbeat of over 5 million nationwide. By joining hands with us today, you become a vital part of this narrative, a change agent in the story of Liberia's evolution. Imagine a future where education is a privilege and an honor, where the halls of learning echo with the laughter and curiosity of students eager to make a difference. Today, I urge you to become a partner with us for this transformative journey. Together, let us invest not just in buildings, but in the very fabric of our collective future. Let us sow the seeds of change and watch them blossom into a legacy of knowledge, hope, and empowerment. In the face of uncertainty, let us be the architects of a brighter tomorrow. Partner with us. Let's be change agents together. Invest in the future and invest in the generations yet to come. Let us together shape a future where the impact of our generosity reverberates for years to come. Thank you. It was an honor to be here.
When Roger had mentioned to me about speaking briefly, I was thinking about something. Okay, happens every time. I just felt that in my spirit, just the scripture that do not despise small beginnings. And this whole thing with meeting Eric was a small beginning. But you know, as I pondered that, I realized that that's only in our mind, right? Because in God's mind, it's completed. He's already seen it from the beginning to the end. We're the ones that God introduces, and we at that time say, Lord, it's a small beginning, but I will take the next step. And that's what I see in Eric. He's never stopped taking the next step. So what a blessing to be part of that. And let me pass it on to Dwayne.
Okay, so Eric, in this Bible study, Eric would tell us about his dreams. And so the four of us, Brian, myself, Roger, and Rusty, decided that we were going to support the school up in Lofa. And we got the money together, built one building, paid to have the property cleared, built the one building, and he started the community center, which now during the day houses regular school classes. Then from 3 to 8 or whatever in the afternoon is the university with 100+ students, okay? There's another person that couldn't be here tonight, Fred Walters, who has joined the gang since then, but him and Dean have donated probably, Dean was Roger's church pastor, but they have donated books, over 2,000 books total that are theological books for the theological library at the university, because the requirement is for them to get full accreditation, they need a library for each one of the, just one brain dead. Each one of the academic classes that they're holding. So that library is being built, and they need more books for the science and education and all that, and also for the science labs. So a crazy dream by a crazy guy.
Teaching life skills and providing education is important and good. It certainly improves lives and provides opportunities to change lives, hence the name Change Agent Network. I believe that ultimately each of us has a desire to find significance in our lives, not just success, but to impact lives for good, to make a difference. But something better than educational change is happening in Liberia, and that is transformation. You'll see that word in the brochure, throughout the brochures. It's kind of a code word. In a biblical sense, transformation is metamorphosis. Yes, that's the example of the butterfly or the caterpillar becoming a butterfly. It's a radical change. It's not just a change in knowledge and skills, but as Paul describes it in the New Testament, everything old has passed away. Everything has become new. Or as Jesus exhorts the rich man, you must be born again. A transformation, a new nature, a radically new way of thinking, a new worldview to direct our lives and influence others. Change Agent Schools, led by many Christian principals and teachers, are multifunctional buildings in Liberia. We are witnesses to God's continued faithfulness in this work, but the work is not complete. While some will desire to travel to Liberia in person to serve, and Eric will welcome that, we can all do our part in this gospel work from the comforts of our own home. We can write checks, or we can make contributions online. And be assured your monies go directly toward this gospel mission. No fancy homes, fancy cars, vacations, an absolute bare minimum administrative cost. With modern technology, we can even witness the progress and successes through online videos on the CAN website. We can be blessed in our own homes by the faithful work being carried out in Liberia. Eric's story is unique. His dedication to being part of God's work in transforming Liberia is unique. I have never in my life met a man more dependent upon God for his daily provision than Eric Wowo. He often astounds and humbles me. He always greets me, whether by phone or in person. Raja, God is still on the throne. That's his worldview, and he lives it every day. God is in charge, and in my opinion, there is no better way to live.
It is imperative that we continue on this trail to provide for the young women and young men in Liberia. I would encourage you to do several things. First, to consider giving to this ministry. Secondly, to get involved either here or in Liberia. And finally, I would also encourage you to consider a trip to Liberia. So I want you to really consider several things tonight. First of all, please join us in supporting and financing this ministry. Second of all, please consider helping us to build Can University in Lofa. I have a special reason for doing that. Eric, my brother, has told me that they plan to name the College of Business and Entrepreneurship after me. Which is one of the greatest honors I have ever had in my life. And thirdly, I would ask you to consider just for a moment where the future of Liberia lies. I plan to prosper you and not to harm you. I plan to give you hope and a future. As treasurer of Change Agent Network, I ask for your support financially. I ask for your prayers. I ask for you to be continually in prayer, not only for Change Agent Network, but for my brother, Eric.
On behalf of the Liberian community, we want to say thank you for giving to Change Agent Network. Thank you for helping the children in Liberia because they do need help. I'm being very emotional because you see this guy, when I first met him, he walked to my house with Richard Babla, and he came and he told us his story. And we, being from Liberia, we all knew that we passed through the same thing. And it was Richard, Michelle, Michael, and I who decided to get on board, and then the Liberian community came on, and we helped Eric. And there were days that we had to pay $25 each to pay the teachers. There were days that we would be going and we would pass the dumpster and he would say, Sis Grace, stop. And I'd stop, and then he would go and take the computer and he would fix the computer. And we gave him our old computer, but one thing he said, somebody's trash is another man's treasure. And it stayed in my mind. And I remember, I told him one day when we met and we prayed at the house, I said in my Liberian tune, Eric, Eric, this thing that you started here, it will be bigger than you, meaning that it will be great. And to come back and see it, to be alive and watch this, I'm grateful to God. Eric, continue. Your community, we got your back, okay?